Hello, Facebook friends, hello. Hello, Facebook friends, hello. I'm ready for the show, so let's go, let's go. I'm feeling real silly, so let's start the show. It's Merry Christmas, so let's start the show, let's show. Oh, ho, 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 ho. Merry Christmas, everybody. I made my own song up by accident.
Yes.
Miss Christie's here. Say hi, Miss Christie. Ding, ling, ling, ding, ling, ding, 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 ding. Jingle bell, ba jingle bell, ba jingle all the way, ba boom, boom, boom. Oh, what fun it is to ride in a one-horse open sleigh. Hey, the jingle bells, the jingle bells, the jingle all the way, ba boom, boom, boom. Oh, what fun it is to ride in a one-horse open sleigh. Dashing through the snow in a one-horse open sleigh. Over the fields we go, laughing all the way. Over the fields we can. Ba boom, ba boom, boom. Oh, what fun it is to sing a sleighing song tonight. Boom. Hey, it's Merry Christmas. Merry Christmas time it is. This Santa hat's a little bit too big for me. I'm just not going to lie to you. The Santa hat's too big. It's me, Tazzy. Oh, my goodness. Merry Christmas to everybody. It's Christmas Eve, 2020. Does that... It just doesn't fit? My head's bigger now. So I thought I would read a couple of Christmas books to you. It's been wrapping and baking and baking and wrapping and back and that do.
No, it's baking, not bacon.
Oh, I thought you were making bacon.
We have bacon in the fridge.
We have bacon in the fridge?
Yes.
But I
wasn't baking bacon.
And I fixed the door, so I'm pretty happy about that. And I wrapped some presents for you and Weebies. And I wrapped a present for me. And every time I was wrapping, it was like...
Nope.
I didn't wrap a puppy for myself. Just saying. Aylin, Merry Christmas to you too, you and Phil. Thank you very much for, if it wasn't for you guys, I would, I wouldn't be in this Santa mood. They lent me this thing. I'm in a goofy mood. It's really nice. Yeah, I'm excited. Excited. So, what should I read first? I think we'll read The Grinch first. That's what we'll read. Let's read. Hi, Sam. Merry Christmas to you, Sam. And to you, Dave. Air, and, of course, Nick. Let's read this one. How the Grinch Stole Christmas. I've never read this book before that I remember. I've seen the cartoon. Bum, 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 bum. You're a mean one, Mr. Grinch. You really are. You. Every Who down at Whoville like Christmas a lot. My sleeves are too big to read a book. But the Grinch, who lived just north of Whoville, did not. The Grinch hated Christmas, the whole Christmas season. Now, please don't ask why. No one quite knows the reason. It could be his head wasn't screwed on just right. It could be, perhaps, his shoes were too tight. But I think the most likely reason of all may he have been that his heart was 2 sizes too small.
Uh-oh. That can cause problems.
But, whatever the reason, his heart or his shoes, he stood there on Christmas Eve hating the Who's, staring down from his cave with a sour, grinchy frown at the warm lighted windows below in their town. For he knew every Who in the Whoville beneath was busy now hanging a mistletoe wreath. And they're hanging their stockings, he snarled with a sneer. Tomorrow is Christmas, it's practically here. He growled with his Grinch fingers drumming nervously drumming. I must find a way to stop Christmas from coming. For tomorrow, he knew. All the Who girls and boys would wake up bright early. They'd rush for their toys, and then, oh, the noise, the noise. The one thing he hated, the noise.
Okay, I might actually be the Grinch.
You don't mind Christmas noise. But then who's, young and old, would sit down to a feast? They'd feast and they'd feast and they'd feast, 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 feast. They'd feast on who pudding, they'd rare who roast beast, which was something the Grinch couldn't stand in the least. And then they do something that he liked least of all. Every who in Whoville, the tall and the small, would stand close together with Christmas bells ringing. They'd stand hand in hand, and the who's would start singing. They'd sing and they'd sing, 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 sing. And the more the Grinch thought of this Who Christmas sing, the more Grinch thought, I must stop this thing. For 53 years, I've put up with it now. I must stop Christmas from coming. But how?
I think the people of Whoville are definitely all extroverts.
They might be, yeah. And then he got an idea, an awful idea. The Grinch had a wonderful, awful idea. I know just what to do. The Grinch laughed in his throat. He made a quick Santa Claus hat and coat, and he chuckled and clucked. What a great Grinchy trick! With his coat and his hat, I look like Saint Nick. All I need is a reindeer. The Grinch looked around, but since reindeer are scarce, there was none to be found. Did that stop old Grinch? No, the Grinch simply said, if I can't find a reindeer, I'll make one instead. So he called his dog Max, and he took some red thread, and he tied a big horn on top of his head.
I'm not sure if it mattered what
Then-
color of thread that needed to be.
Well, it's red for Christmas. Then he loaded some bags and some old empty sacks on a ramshackle sleigh, and he hitched up old Max. The Grinch said, "Giddy up," and the sleigh started down towards the homes where the Who's lay a snooze in their town. All the windows were dark. The quiet snow filled the air. All the Who's were all dreaming of sweet dreams without care. And then he came to the first little house on the square. This is stop one, the old Grinchy Claus hissed, and climbed on the roof, empty bags in his fist. Then he slid down the chimney, a rather tight pinch. But if Santa could do it, so could the Grinch. He got stuck only once for a moment or two. Then he stuck his head out of the fireplace flue, where the little Who stockings all hung in a row. These stockings, he grinned, are the first to go. Then he slithered and slunk, with a smile almost unpleasant, around the whole room. He took every present. Pop guns and bicycles, roller skates, drums, checkerboards, tricycles, popcorn, and plums. And he stuffed them in bags. When the Grinch very nimbly stuffed all the bags, one by one, up the chimbley.
Thank you. You're not really showing the whole picture.
Okay.
You'll either have to sweep it
Yeah,
across.
I'll try that. Okay, we're good. Then he slunk to the icebox and took the Who's feast. He took Who pudding, he took roast beast. He cleaned out the icebox quick as a flash, while the Grinch didn't leave them one last of canned hash. Then he stuffed all the food up the chimney with glee, and now, grinned the Grinch, I'll stuff up the tree.
Is anybody else having flashbacks from the Cartoon.
Cartoon. That's what I'm. Yeah. The Grinch grabbed the tree and he started to shove. Then he heard a small sound like a coo of a dove. He turned around fast and he saw a small who, Cindy Lou who was not more than 2. The Grinch had been caught by this tiny who daughter, who'd got out of bed for a cup of cold water. She stared at the Grinch and said, "Santa Claus, why? Why are you taking our Christmas tree? Why?"
Again, you have to sweep it, Tazzy.
But you know, that old Grinch was so smart and so slick, he thought up a lie and he thought it up quick. "Why, my sweet little tot," the fake Santa Claus lied, "there's a light on this tree that won't light on one side, so I'm taking it home to my workshop, my dear. I'll fix it there, and I'll bring it back here." And as fib fooled the child, he patted her head, and he got her a drink and sent her to bed. And when Cindy Lou Who went to bed with her cup, he went to the chimney and stuffed the tree up.
It's not easy.
No. Probably not. Not at all. And the last thing he took was the log from the fire. And he went up the chimney himself, the old liar. On their walls he left nothing but hooks and some wire, and then one speck of food that he left in the house was a crumb that was too small for even a mouse. Then he did the same thing to other Who's houses, leaving crumbs too small for other Who's mouses. It was 1/4 dawn. All the Who's still in bed, all the Who's still a snooze. As he packed up his sled, he packed it up with their presents, their ribbons, their wrappings, their tags and their tinsel, their trimmings and trappings. "3,000 feet up the side of Mount Crumpet, he rode with his load to the tip-top to dump it. Pooh on the Who's," was his Grinchily humming. "They'll find out now that no Christmas is coming. They're just waking up. You know what they'll do. Their mouth will hang open for a moment or two. Then the Who's in Whoville will cry boo-hoo." "That's a noise," grinned the Grinch. "I simply must hear." So he paused, and the Grinch put his hand to his ear, and he did hear a sound rising over the snow. It started out low, and it started to grow. But the sound wasn't sad. Why, the sound is quite merry. It couldn't be so. But it was merry, very. He stared down at Whoville. The Grinch popped his eyes, and then he shook. What he saw was a shocking surprise. Every Who down in Whoville, the tall and the small, was singing. Without any presents at all. He hadn't stopped Christmas from coming. It came. Somehow or other, it came just the same.
Anybody else singing? Yahoo!
Yahoo! And then the Grinch, with his Grinch feet ice cold in the snow, stood puzzling and puzzling. How could it be so? Well, it came without ribbons. It came without tags. It came without packages, boxes, or bags. And he puzzled 3 hours till his puzzler was sore. Then the Grinch thought of something he hadn't thought of before. Maybe Christmas, he thought. doesn't come from a store. Maybe Christmas, perhaps, means a little bit more. And what happened then? Well, in Whoville, they say, the Grinch's small heart grew 3 sizes that day. The minute his heart didn't feel quite so tight, he whizzed up his load through the bright morning light, and he brought back the toys, the food for the feast. Boom, 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 boom.
I'm going the wrong way.
He brought back the toys and the food for the feast, and he, the Grinch himself, carved the roast beast. How the Grinch stole Christmas and they gave it back again. I love that book.
There's a line in there that was something about he was expecting the people of Whoville to boo-hoo.
Yeah.
But I'm kind of wondering if maybe they hoo-boo instead of boo-hoo.
Maybe the hoo-boo-hoo-hoo.
Maybe.
The hoo-boo-hoo's the who's.
Maybe.
Yeah. Well, then they boo-hoos. The boo-hoos. Boo-hoos. There you go. How the Grinch Stole Christmas. You know what? It's a great cartoon, right?
There's lots of hearts coming up over here.
Oh, there's hearts coming up. You got to get in front of the camera though. There you go.
I'm on the wrong side again.
Oh, somebody's got grumpy face. I don't know what that's about.
Maybe because they can't have a cookie. Is it because you can't have a cookie?
I can't have a cookie.
They're ginger cookies. Yum.
Yeah, you were saying that it reminded you of the cartoon. Well, it's because the cartoon is based on the book, of course.
Well, I know. It's basically it's a.
Well, it's exactly almost the same thing, except for they made it longer for the cartoon. And do you know who the voice was? Boris Karloff.
Oh yes.
It was Boris Karloff.
I had a B name in my head, but it wasn't Boris.
You're a mean one, Mr. Grinch. I wish I had. That's my alarm for some of the stuff.
Correct.
Yeah, whenever you're calling, it comes up.
I am the Grinch.
I was gonna play it, but then we wouldn't be able to put this on YouTube because they don't allow you to do stuff. Yeah, you know what? I love that cartoon. Every year that would come on, it would be that one, Charlie Brown Christmas, Rudolph, and the Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer with the elf that wanted to be a dentist.
Yeah.
Yeah. And
that's kind of the sad thing about we didn't renew our cable when we moved.
Yeah.
Actually, we stopped our cable before.
Oh, because we stopped our cable quite a long time ago, so we don't get those. But I mean, they're all available on a lot of the.
I haven't found any of them on the streaming.
Oh, you have to. I think I found them on.
I'm looking for them, but I think some of the networks like NBC.
Yeah, those guys they don't allow some of that stuff, but that's just corporate stuff. But it's Christmas, and I'm sure we can find them online somewhere and things like that. Hey, Renee and Danica, how are you? Merry Christmas. We just read The Grinch Stole Christmas, and now we're going to read probably the most iconic Christmas with Miss Christie's blue hair. She isn't the Grinch. She's thing one or thing two. That's 100% true. This book, Clement Moore wrote 'Twas the Night Before Christmas. I don't know how long ago. Quite a few. Probably, I think it's from the 1800s if I'm not mistaken. I probably am mistaken. It doesn't say when it was originally done, but this is probably the most iconic Christmas book ever, you know? I think so. Yep. Let's read this. 'Twas the night before Christmas, when all through the house not a creature was stirring, not even a mouse. The stockings were hung by the chimney with care, in hopes that St. Nicholas soon would be there. The children were nestled, all snug in their beds, with visions of sugar plums, danced in their heads?
Phil says it's from 1823.
1823. Thanks, Phil. Miss Christie would have been 5. 1823. Thanks, bud. While children were nestled all snug in their beds, while visions of sugar plums danced in their heads, and Mama, in her kerchief, and me in my cap, had settled down for a long winter's nap, when out on the lawn arose such a clatter, I sprang from my bed to see what was the matter. Away to the window I flew like a flash, tore open the shutters and threw up the sash. December 23rd, 1823. There you go. The moon on the crest of the new fallen snow gave a luster of midday to objects below, when to my wondering eyes should appear but a miniature sleigh and 8 tiny reindeer. With a little old driver, so lively and quick, I knew in a moment he must be Saint Nick. More rapid than eagles his concourses they came, and he whistled and shouted and called them by name. Now Dasher, now Prancer, now Dancer, now Vixen, on Cupid, on Comet, on Donner and Blitzen, on the top of the porch to the top of the wall. Now dash away, dash away, dash away all. As drively as before, the wild hurricane fly. When they meet with an obstacle, mount to the sky. So up on the housetop the coursers they flew, with a sleigh full of toys, and St. Nicholas too. Then, in a twinkling, I heard on the roof the prancing and pawing of each little hoof. As I drew in my head and was turning around, down the chimney St. Nicholas came with a bound. He was dressed all in fur from his head to his foot, and his clothes were all tarnished with ashes and soot.
You would get pretty dirty.
Yeah, probably coming down the chimney. Yeah. A bundle of toys he had flung on his back, and he looked like a peddler opening his pack. His eyes, how they twinkled, his dimples, how merry. His cheeks were like roses, his nose a cherry. His droll little mouth was drawn up like a bow. The beard of his chin was as white as the snow.
You're not quite there.
No, I'm
but
like
you're getting
I'm
close.
like the snow that falls and then gets on the road and the cars drive off it, on it. He had a broad face and a round little belly that shook when he laughed like a bowl full of jelly. He was chubby and plump, a right jolly old elf, and I laughed when I saw him in spite of myself. A wink of his eye and a twist of his head soon gave me to know I had nothing to dread. He spoke not a word, but went straight to his work, and he filled all the stockings. Then he turned with a jerk. and laying his finger aside of his nose, he gave a nod, and up the chimney he rose. He sprang to his sleigh, to his team he gave a whistle, and away they all flew like the down of a thistle. I heard him exclaim, as he drove out of sight, "Merry Christmas to all, and to all a good night." There you go. 'Twas the night before Christmas.
So when you were a little kid, did Santa fill your stocking, or did he bring you a big gift?
He brought us gifts and filled the stocking.
Oh.
Yeah.
He filled our stockings.
Oh, okay. Yeah. No, he would bring us one gift and then fill our stockings. That's what he would do when I was wee. Yep, that's what it was. And I remember some of the gifts that he brought me. He brought me an Evel Knievel stunt set, and that I really wanted. He brought me a race car game one year. It was called Black Racer, and it was just a black box, and it was a race. All it did is the car could go like this or that, and if you hit one, it was just other cars coming along. That was it, and it took. I was so happy because he brought me the racer, and then Mom and Dad brought me batteries. So that was good because there was no batteries. And one year he brought me a weight set, 110 pound weight set, which was one of my favorite things to get to. And
I can't imagine having to carry that in his sack.
Yes.
Down your chimney.
Down my chimney. Yep. Through the fireplace and put it up.
He's probably really happy to get rid of that present.
Yeah, because he probably dropped it off first, eh? But yeah, no, it's you know what? Christmas is so much more than just, Christmas is just so much more than just presents and Santa Claus and things like that. It's about sharing your love and the family and kinship, and it's the anticipation of watching other people open the gifts that you've gotten them, and things like that. So that's what Christmas is about. It's all about, sharing what you've got with others, really. It's good. This year is going to be a little bit different, of course, right? It's going to be different because we can't have big family gatherings, and we're not supposed to be having family gatherings, and I hope people don't have big family gatherings, because it's not it's probably not the best thing to have, but at least we can do what we're doing now, which is talk over and the internet and see each other, and I wish I could see your reactions. We should do a couple of these readings. I think we should do a couple of the readings on Zoom, and then I can have the kids join us on Zoom and things like that too. But we'll see what's going on in the new year. I just I think there's going to be some pretty big changes coming to Tazzy Reads. I think well, not big changes, but different formats. I think that's what we're gonna work on, Miss Christy and I. And you know what? It's Christmas Eve, and I miss Weebies because he's over at his mom's place, and Joshy's over at his home place, and it's just you and I. We're gonna gorge ourselves on appetizers until I'm tired. I'm gonna go to sleep. I have 2 more little shows tonight that I'm gonna do, and then by 8 o'clock tonight, I'm going to be just in front of the TV with you, watching some sort of Christmas special or Modern Family. I don't know. But I have to tell you, my Christmas gift this year started on March 18th. That's when I was able to start reading to you. That was 281 days ago. I forgot to mention, yesterday was day 280. 280 days, almost in a row. I think I've only missed maybe a dozen days.
Yeah,
maybe a dozen days. Not even a dozen, I don't think, really. I don't know. I went fishing a couple of days. A couple of days we didn't have any internet. A couple of days we had gigs. A couple of days I tried to read from wherever we were, and I took books with me. A couple of times we read on the boat, and things like that. So it's been awesome. And I don't know. I don't know if I'll be reading tomorrow night. I probably will. I'm not sure. We'll just have to see what happens, So, Merry Christmas to you. Feliz Navidad. Joyeux Noël. And you know what? However you decide to celebrate your Christmas season, please do it safely, and please do it with as much love and laughter as you can, because you know what? In this time of the year, especially this year, we need so many people to have love in their heart. My friend Kim Height just popped on to say Merry Christmas, and I used to. Ukrainian Christmas is coming up as well, and that's. And when's Ukrainian Christmas, everybody? I don't know. I don't know when it is. All I know is that we get Christmas, and then my friends who were Ukrainian, they'd invite me over for Ukrainian Christmas, and that's where I fell in love with pierogies and halapshi, and that sort of stuff. But
isn't it early January?
I think it's early January. Yeah, I don't remember. I just know that I'm just so happy around Christmas time, right? I feel very, very blessed. Merry Christmas, Taz and Miss Christie. It's January 7th, Kim says. Well, thank you, love. January 7th is, I'm on my way. Oh, man. There's something else I wanted to say. I hope that you get to spend some time with people online and those the ones that you love. I'm very blessed. Yeah, so that's all. Merry Christmas to you. Thank you so much for letting me read. How many books has it been? Today was 644 and 645 books. That's it. Today was 644. I gotta write it down because we'll forget. 644 and 645. That's how many books we've read as of today.
Wasn't an earthquake. That was Taz writing.
That was just me writing. Well, Merry Christmas, you.
Merry Christmas to you too.
Merry Christmas, Miss Christie. Russ Anderson, you popped in, buddy. Russ just got a new puppy, which reminds me, this might be the last chance you have to get me a puppy for Christmas.
Still not.
It might be the last chance, to get me a puppy for Christmas. So if you have anything to tell me that if I have to run out and get some food, or if I've got to, do any of that stuff, you can let me know.
Still not happening. Nope.
She said maybe.
Nope.
She said maybe. I heard maybe. I need to get something to close this up, but it's because I don't have a neck. That's the problem. Merry Christmas, Russ. Lots of love to you. Lots of love to everybody. There you go. We wish you a Merry Christmas. We wish you a Merry Christmas. We wish you a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year. Glad tidings to you wherever you are. Glad tidings for Christmas and a Happy New Year. Good night, Facebook friends. Good night. Good night, Facebook friends. Good night. May your dreams be cheery and your dreams be bright. Good night, Facebook friends. Good night. Sleep tight, Facebook friends. Sleep tight. Sleep tight, Facebook friends, sleep tight. May your dreams be so cheery till the morning light. Good night, Facebook friends. Good night. Merry Christmas to you. My buddy Pat just popped on too. Merry Christmas, pal. Oh, I'm happy. So I'm getting a puppy.
Nope.
One day.